Video, I'm going to walk us through paper one, the first assignment. So if you go to our Blackboard page, there you have all of the videos. We're building this thing up now. And on the toolbar, I'm going to always have the assignments located in two places. So if you go to weekly sessions, week one, there's paper one right there, as well as the syllabus. So paper one's going to be Tuesday, May 23rd. They'll also always be available if you just click on assignments. Here's paper one narrative definition. So I uploaded two documents for each, a PDF version and a Microsoft Word doc. I'm going to pull up the Word doc so we can do some brainstorming outlining. So here we go. Paper one, description narrative assignment. This will be due Tuesday, May 30th on Blackboard. Please upload either a Microsoft Word doc or PDF. Papers should be in Times New Roman font size 12 and double space. You must use MLA guidelines for format. See MLA on Purdue Owl. See all the videos. You should have looked at that from the discussion boards as well. This paper is worth 200 points and will be based on 4 areas. Clarity of thesis statement, introductory paragraph that sets up your paper. And you'll be familiar with that from the videos and the handouts as well. Organization of paper. This includes development of the main points in your body paragraphs with adequate description. Body paragraphs should also follow meal guidelines, main idea, evidence analysis link. MLA citation and paper setup. And the conclusion. That's the point base right here. And here's the specific assignment. For this assignment, you will write a 3-page definition. I want you to define what the word friend means to you. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, a friend is, quote, a person you like and know well, a person who supports a particular cause or organization. These definitions are somewhat broad and stuffy. I want you to specifically think about and define what friend is. And here's how I want you to do this. I want you to do this by choosing a friend. This is one person, one friend, and talking about this individual. How you became friends. How your friendship has changed over time. Also, I want you to reflect on how and why this friendship is or was important to you. Think also about how your friendships have changed since the pandemic. How is friendship different now? Look at and follow pages 251 through 266 from our readings. The goal of this assignment is to come up with your definition of friend and describe it in this paper. So a little bit more about this. I want you to choose one friend, not a bunch. You're not writing a paper about 3 or 4 of your pals. And I don't even care if this person is still your friend. It could be someone who was your friend in the past that was important to you at a time period, and the friendship could have ended. It could ended either amicably or bad. You could have had a falling out. It doesn't have to be someone you're friends with now. It could be someone from elementary school, middle school, high school. Here's what I want you to do. Your paper will be set up like this. Start with an introductory paragraph that grabs the reader's attention and mentions your definition of a friend. So what is your definition of a friend? A lot of us probably have similar thoughts, but it's also unique to each of us as well. Make sure in your intro you include your friend and the aspects that you will be talking about. You will have a thesis statement at the end of your first paragraph. So here's a couple of different ways how you could start your paper. You might start with an anecdote or a memorable event with your friend. You could start with something you and your friend do on a regular basis. You could start with the definition of what friendship means to you, and then zoom in to illustrate how your friend fits this description. For your thesis statement, answer this question. Why is blank your friend? And what makes or made this friendship important? So answer that question, right? why is Joe my friend, and what makes this friendship important? Or if it's no longer a friend, what made it important? A lot of times we learn about friendship by people that may have treated us poorly in the past as well. So your thesis is going to be an answer to this question here. So what I want you all to do now, and if we were in person in class, I would have you do this: pull out a piece of paper and a pencil, or write on this sheet and start to jot down some ideas. And I want you to do this now. Start to describe a friend. Describe this person in detail and why this person is or was important to you. Also start to write down a preliminary definition of friend. So you could do this. So outline, we're going to do some notes here. Notes, pre-writing. This is a really important component of the writing process. Free writing. What is a friend? What makes a friendship important? Do you have to have things in common? Spend time together, interests, beliefs. What makes someone your friend? Caring, thoughtful, fun, funny, someone who's there for you when you need them, right? What are some things that make a person your friend? So you have a lot of stuff here. You could set your paper up a number of different ways as well. You could start to describe. So have a friend in mind. If I were to talk about a friend, I'd talk about my friend, Rob. Let's say Rob, and you would just describe this person. What is he, she, they like? What makes this person special / important? What are some of their characteristics? Are they, characteristics? Are they funny, silly, all that stuff, right? And you just start to describe this person. Describe this person in detail. What are some things you like to do together? Right? What do you like to do together? What do you have in common? What are some of your differences? Right? And you're doing some free writing now, and you could also think of this good old fashioned idea. You could do the who. Your friend, describe him. What? When? Where? Why? How? So these can be things you can apply to your paper, right? We're doing some notes free writing. We're doing the writing process now. So do you have so you could start to brainstorm more. Do you remember when you first met? What happened when the two of you first met? How did you hit it off? To hit it off. What did you bond over? What were some things you had in common? Do you have any memorable times, experiences, things you've done together? See, this is where you can apply the who, what, when, where, when you first met. When was it? What was it? Where were you doing? Why? How was it affected? How did it affect you? A memorable time, right? That could be, think of a concert, event, sporting event, things you like to do together. Was your friend there for you in a difficult time? I always think it's one of those funny things. Remember in when high school, you have all these people you meet. You're like, oh, we're going to be friends forever. We're always going to be together. And then after high school, you hang out or talk to two people, and the rest of them you just forget about, right? Or you don't hang out that much. And what I mean by that, it's easy to be friends with somebody when everything's going well, but a real friend's there for you through some difficult times. Has your friend been there for you in a difficult time, right? Uh, what was it? What happened? How does did your friend influence your definition of friendship? How did all these events? Similarly, if you were really close with someone and you had a falling out, what happened? Right? What happened? And how did that influence your idea of friend? We have friends too. You ever have friends, they can become like these emotional vampires. They're always dumping on you their problems, and you're talking to someone, you can't get a word in, it's your friend, and you realize, or you have a friend who, if you don't do what they want you to do, they get mad. That's not really a good friend there, right? So if you have these other events, falling out, what happened? How did that influence you? And how you can start to structure your paper. Now we're jumping around a little bit. This is all just free writing here. This is really important in writing college papers rather than, the papers due and you're staring at this blank screen. You always want to do some free writing. All these, these things right here, that's your paper. And you can start to broadly outline your paper now, right? You have your intro and thesis, which is going to be a quarter to half a page. If you follow that intro and thesis guideline, jump right into your paper. Jump right into your paper. You could start in a bunch of different ways. Start a few different ways. You could start by just defining what a friend is. What is it? Defining what is it to you, and then narrow it down by talking about your friend. Or you could just describe. You could start with an anecdote about you and your friend, and your thesis is going to answer that. You think of your intro. If you're doing double spaced, we're double spacing in college papers. Answer that question: why is Joe my friend, and why is that friendship important? And then you can move on to body paragraph 1. You could talk about maybe the first time you met. And you don't have to follow this structure, but this can help you a little bit. If you follow meal, body 1, first meeting. Body 2, things in common. Meal again, right? Follow the meal. Body 3, memorable time, event, when you went to the sporting event or the concert together. Memorable time, event. Body 4, there for you in difficult time. Body 5, or you might be moving into conclusion here, give or take. Look at all this stuff. Your meeting, your things in common. You might have another body paragraph that you have differences. All this, and in your conclusion, your body 5, how this person has shaped your view, definition of friendship. That's when you're going to wrap it. You're going to combine everything of what you've written about and include this, how this person, based on all this. And you could do this even more so, or just as well, with a friend that you've had a falling out with. It doesn't have to be someone you've known forever and you love and you've been friends forever. It could be someone you were close to, and it made you realize, hey, I got to put myself first. I can't always do what Joe wants me to do or whatever. But I think this paper is really important. It gets us thinking about doing a specific genre, which is a description narrative, and it's a definition. You're defining friend. And what this, a couple other notes on the intro, don't do this, right? I'm going to give you some no-nos here. Don't do this. Don't start with any broad platitudes or banalities. Friendship is different for everyone. Obviously, Captain Obvious, right? We don't want anything like that. I don't want you to use, don't use you or your, because when you use you and your in this paper, it's pointing toward me, the reader, Charles Kell, and your idea of a friendship is not my idea of a friendship. My friends, I like to see them a couple times a year, and that's it. So you don't want to use you and your, and people do this though. One way, a friend is someone who is always there for you. I get what you're trying to say, but in this paper, because it's a narrative, you can use first person. Get rid of you. A friend is someone who is always there for me, right? You can use I, me, mine in this paper. I don't want you to use your in this paper. So, my definition of a friend is someone who is always there for me. Joe fits this definition because he was there when blah, 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 right? You get kind of the gist of it. And your paper does not have to follow this structure. These are just a few ideas to get you going. But I want you to follow along though and do this free writing, pre-writing, start to brainstorm on the assignment. Again, one friend, not a bunch of friends, just one person. And it could be someone who you're close to now, or someone you had a falling out with, or someone you were close to in the past. And how that person specifically illustrates your friendship. Maybe also you can add, I like this part too. You might add somewhere in here. How is your friendship different now? You might have another body paragraph on that. How is it different now than when you first met? So that's just a quick overview of the assignment 1. Please email me if you have any questions, and good luck.